What I'm going to do is to just share a few things that would support what Sylvester has said. So how do you search for relevant papers that you can use? So note these tools that I'm going to talk about because they may help you. So for instance, you have connected papers. So this is one of the tools that you can use. If you click on connected papers, you're going to find something like this, okay? So, and then if you search anything at all, let's say you're searching for cybersecurity, you search there, click, and it's going to come up with, different papers like this, similar to Google Scholar and stuff like that. But of course, you are using them complementarily. So it's not one or the other. Is you use that, you use this, and then at the end of the day, you come up with list of papers that are going to be helpful. So let's say you find this one helpful, okay? Usually, when you're doing your research, there are usually papers that are really close to what you're doing, okay? So they are relevant, you find them really good, and you like them, okay? So that paper or papers, let's say a couple of papers like that, um, they're close and, your ideas and those ideas are kind of related. So you make those like reference points. So from there, you can try to um, yeah, Google Papers and stuff like that. Now it's telling me to sign in, but yeah, I'll just sign in just for demonstration purposes. If you're up for it, you sign in as well. Otherwise, it can give you opportunities to browse freely, for a few papers without signing in, I think. So this is what it does. It creates a kind of link or web of similar papers. So what you want is to be able to find relevant articles that will help your work. So here you have this one, and then you have other ones. So it reflects the date of publication as well. So the ones that are a bit lighter in color. Those ones are dated. So you can see 2022. And then the ones that are darker in color, like these ones, they are more recent. You can also see that here. So you can click on any of them, okay? And then you see the summary of what it's talking about, around here, okay? So I don't know if you can see. So these are the summary of the paper. And you can continue to look around like that. Some of it will help you to download the PDF, make your notes, and organize your research papers in a way that it will help you. So finding relevant articles, they are very important. And Connected Papers does exactly that. So you find one article, and based upon that article, you find related article, okay? And you're able to navigate to know which one is the most important for you. You focus on that one, take notes, and then afterwards you compile your references, just like Sylvester has said. So quickly, that was Connected Papers. So I just wanted to also show you another one, which is also here. Okay, so I'm going to skip Litmap. You can check it out yourself as well. So we've talked about connected papers. If you want to look at this open knowledge, it's also here. And if you're searching cybersecurity as well, you quickly search, it will bring papers and then cluster them in ways that are relevant. So if you see this, if you point this, you can see that it kind of summarizes what that cluster of paper is talking about, okay? So, and then you can also click, you see that? That's what the paper is talking about. And then you see if it's what you're interested in. And then here, if you point, it may also show you, you see, that's what the cluster of papers there are talking about. So it helps you to group your work and organize them in a way. So when you click here, you can select each of these papers and then get the summaries as well. You can export them, do a whole lot of different things around here. You can also cite, okay? And then it will show you, um, you know, how you can list them in your bibliography, a bit like Sylvester has said. If you want to copy them, maybe to RefWork or to any other place, you can also copy them. So one thing to note is, like I said earlier on, this note, they said, we are not able to verify whether this citation is formatted correctly based on the metadata received. Please check before reuse. So there is no tool that will give you 100% of the time exactly what you want. So there's always the case of you stepping in to tweak it a little bit, make sure everything is fine, read through it, okay? Look at it. Don't say, I've used this tool and therefore it should all be fine. So look through it real quick, make sure they're all set, and then you can submit your papers. So I just wanted to highlight these tools that some of my students have found very useful, and so that you can try it yourself, and hopefully you find it useful too. So there's this one also called the Notebook LM. Okay, so how that works is also similar to the other ones. So if you wanted to go to the notebook one, I can just can type them here, and yeah. So notebook LM, better to use Google. So, and then google.com. Come on. All right. So Google is doing shakla for me. But anyway, I think that's a new browser. So let me click on this again and pop this up. And then I can use this one. So I just want to use that. So, and then here, I want to use NotebookLM, okay? And yeah, what does it do? So this is not the computer that I use it on, but if you wanted to use it, you can upload like a research paper, for example, on the NotebookLM, and what it would do is to let me see a research article, okay, that I can upload. And it would basically help you to summarize those articles. It can even read them for you, you see? So this is the summary of the article. Are you now going to copy them and paste? No, no. So it helps you to kind of summarize the article, saves you time, checks whether this article is actually what you want or not, and then you can pick points from there. And then, of course, make further, read further on the article. You can see here, if you look here, it's also trying to see if you want to know about more stuffs in that particular paper. So for example, what vulnerabilities threaten smart grid security? So that's part of the things that the papers are talking about. You can click that and it can give you more summaries on those, okay? So again, this is not a replacement of you reading the papers. It's just a tool that can help you to quickly know what is relevant for you to read and what is not. It can also give you the audio overview. Okay, so if you like listening to stuff while you're on the bus or something like that, this can help you read some of those to you, and then you can know what the paper is talking about, make quicker decision, and your research could be more efficient because of that. So that will be the quick demo. I'm skipping the other part. So the literature review part, maybe we can talk about that some other time. But obviously, what it's about is you showing that you've done research work. A lot of students are confused what literature reviews are, but they're basically you making an argument. Okay, you're telling a story. You build it up from basic level to a more in-depth level. And as you go, you are citing up and referencing accordingly. You can break down your literature review into subtopics the way that it suits you and just drive an argument, drive a discussion that makes logical sense. But that may be for another day. I'm hoping that some of these tools would be helpful for you because they have been helpful for a lot of my students. Do we have any question?
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, sir, please, my question is this. Like, as after the using notebook LM to
Yeah,
summarize an article,
yeah.
and you copy the summarized part and change your words and becomes your own new article or
So
something, stuff like that.
yeah, so just take off the copy part. Don't copy, okay? Just know that this is trying to help you to summarize the paper. Firstly, it's trying to tell you whether this paper is actually worth your time. So sometimes you have a research paper, you read them, and then you find out that, okay, this is not really what I wanted. You've wasted your time. So these tools, number one, helps you to know whether this article is actually worth it. Number two, if you're using the audio attribute, it might help you to read it to you. Maybe you're at the bus or anything like that. So then you listen to it instead of reading them. And it's not a replacement. I would say in addition to reading them, not instead. Okay. So, but don't copy the summaries. Don't copy what I've given you. You can read it. You can confirm on the paper, and you can rewrite it in your own words. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank you, sir.
Cheers. Any more question? Do we have any more question at all?
Yes, sir.
We have Salome. Salome is raising her
Yes, sir.
hands. Is that still valid?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what happened is once you raise your hand the first time and your question has been answered, please just drop it so that we will know who is seeking for the new attention.
Salome, do you have a question?
Not really a question.
Oh, okay. A comment. Go for it.
A comment. Yeah. For me, actually overwhelmed.
Okay. I think that's normal. I think that's completely fine. And that's why we are recording this. So afterwards, we're going to post a video and you will take a look. Also, don't forget you don't need to use all of these tools. Okay. So for example, I've mentioned about four tools here. And then Sylvester, I've also mentioned about maybe three. For example, RefWork, Google Scholar, and ResearchGate. Okay. So ResearchGate, for instance, is where you can find free articles. So that's where researchers upload some of the articles they've written. And if, for example, you can't find the article freely online, for example, in Google Scholar, they're asking you to pay and stuff, you can go to ResearchGate and find it. Okay. And then you can get the article without having to pay money. Sometimes your schools, or in most cases, your schools has already subscribed to most of the papers that you would need. So you may not really, need to worry. So I understand that it might be overwhelming and it might look so, but what I'm trying to say is you don't have to use all these tools. Let's say you've looked at this four that is on the screen now, and you said, okay, I'm going to try Open Knowledge Maps and then NotebookLM. Okay, that would be good. You just play around with those two and see if you like them. Obviously, Google Scholar, you're always going to need them. Okay, so that you should take note of. Things like RefWork, you will need them. It will actually simplify your work. So I think that you would have to note as well. If you don't have some of those tools, you find out you will spend more time trying to do them manually and probably doing them wrongly as well. So it's important to take them one by one. You don't need to master everything about RefWork. Just master the ones that helps you do your work, okay? And you don't need to master everything about any of these tools. Just the parts that helps you do your work would be enough. Does that help?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Cool.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I have a question.
Thank you, sir.
A question, please.
Yeah. Question, go for it.
Okay, so
like when using NotebookLM,
yeah,
and you summarize in your own terms,
yeah,
do you still need to cite?
of course. You cite the paper.
Okay.
You cite the paper that you're summarizing, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. You have to always confirm actually that the summary is authentic and is correct, okay? So you have to make reference to the paper anyways. All right?
Okay, sir.
Cool.
Yeah, and then just to chip in something, because I see there's massive interest in NotebookLM, because I think it's because a lot of students naturally want something that is quick and easy.
Yeah.
There's no assessment or coursework that you'll be given that will be about summarizing just a paper. Most of the work you'll be given will be about pulling different papers and forming your own opinion or critically analyzing those bodies of work. So when you talk about summarizing a paper, that is not something you may even see. It usually be about pulling knowledge from different places and making them your argument. And then in writing, in writing that your literature review, or whatever you're writing, you're not going to be writing, okay, one part, let me write about this person's article, then I write about this person's article. No, that's not how it goes. Most times, Chukuma or Mogo, if anybody's on camera, please turn off your cameras because we're recording and we don't want to. So it usually be about argument or building a what do you call it, an argument. So it's be more like so person said, but this person does not agree with what so person said, or these people said, this group of people. So it's usually about a narration. So you may not even see a case where what is needed is the summary of an article.
Yeah.
It's usually about
that's correct.
And write work, yeah.
So, and I think it's good that you're pointing it out. So what I said is these tools will help you to know whether, first of all, you need to read those articles. Okay? So it's not a replacement. And when you are building your logic, you don't want to spend 2 hours reading an article and you find out that it doesn't have the content you want. Okay? So that's where some of these tools come in. So they can tell you whether this article is worth reading based upon the summary that they've produced. So that's the thing. And that's where it can be useful. Obviously, you are going to be reading a lot of articles to write a research paper. So if you have a tool that helps you to select which article is better for you to read, and which article is not so relevant, that saves you a lot of time. And that's what these tools are there for. Okay?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes. Go for it. Ask the question.
Please, does this ref work allow for numbering in-text citation?
What do you mean by numbering text citation? Normally, you would not number your in-text citation except it's the format you're using. There's a format, I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's a scientific format. We use it for most papers too. Let me open it. Could I just share my screen for a moment to answer that question?
Okay, so just before you share, does anyone have any more question about some of these tools? Okay, does it make sense? Just to highlight quickly, you don't need to be using every single tool. It might be a distraction if you want to use too many tools. Just find out what works for you, and you don't even need to master every single thing about the tool. You just need to know it enough to use it to do your work. Okay, so the ones I've shared here are the ones that I or my students have found useful. Okay, so and I'm thinking that you might find them useful as well. So you can decide now to see, okay, which one works for me, which one doesn't work, which one do I, actually use or things like that. So that's the idea. At every time, you always need to make reference back to the actual article and make sure that they are very well cited and referenced. So I'm assuming now there is no more question here. So Sylvester, you can share.
Okay, so I think that's the format you referred to in that. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Yes, so the format you referred to, I think it's called Vancouver or something. The format that numbers your in-text references. So all you need to do is to come to your citation style and change it to, I think it's called Vancouver. Let me search. Sure now, Vancouver. Have I spelled it rightly? I think this is it. I think it's Vancouver. So when you do that, you update it. And you can see now it's numbered it.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So it's about the referencing style. If you change the referencing style to any format that allows this, it will change. There's the other types of Vancouver that if you use, let's search again, Vancouver. I think that's what it's called. There are over 7,000 referencing styles. So this is the one that usually used for most publications, conferences. Springer, Vancouver, you select it and you update it. You say it has numbered it for you. And then if you turn on the bibliography, it will also number it for you accordingly. And remember that all these references, you can format them. For instance, look at these references, the way it has done them. If I were the one using this, I would not want to have one on one line and the reference on another line. So I could edit it myself. I can actually come here, press backspace, and it goes this way. If you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
You get, so you have the liberty to also format these things the way you want it.
And actually, you should, okay?
Yeah.
You should always take a look and make sure that they are the way you like it, okay? So the lecturer is not going to take the excuse of, oh, I used RefWork and therefore, RefWork formatted it for me. That's not what they will be caring about. They will be caring about how it actually looks. And in case you're worried, RefWork is allowed to use, okay? You can use RefWork to reference your work, no problem about that.
Yes, and your school will even give you access to it. Like I said, your email address as a student allows you to register for it. And if you search your library tools, you might even see the guide on RefWorks. Yeah, I think we had a long session.
And RefWork is not the only tool, in case your school is using another tool. But the good thing about knowing about one tool is that you can always, replicate it in another tool because they are usually very similar. As you can see from the 3 or 2 tools that I demonstrated, you can see that the way that they arrange similar articles are kind of, similar. So knowing one tool would help you even if that's not the exact tool that you end up using.
So another question, please.
Yeah.
Okay, if you are going through an article now and you happen to see a valid point made by the researcher, but it is not his own contribution, but another person's contribution, which he cited, are you going to cite the person's work you are reading or the one referenced?
So basically, you should cite the one you're reading.
Yeah.
And then if you think that you want to know more, obviously you're at liberty to go and read the other articles. And then if you find more stuff from there, you can cite that one directly as well. Okay. So cite the one you're reading. That's the answer.
Okay. All right. Thank you.